Happiness. Everyone knows what that is and what it feels like, and we all seek it. I believe happiness is our birthright, to be happy and to live a fulfilled life. And that's what the human path is all about. But why do we chase it? We certainly do chase money, believing it will lead us to more happiness. But what if happiness isn't something that you chase at all, but something you simply uncover? That's the question that Ken Kai's asked and answered in one of the most transformative books ever published, Handbook to Higher Consciousness. Ken wasn't just a teacher. He was a philosopher, a mind architect, and an amazing human being that I was privileged to know. And in 1993, I sat down with him for a conversation that had never been widely public released until now. We talked about suffering, about love, consciousness, enlightenment, and on a more practical level, how to reprogram your emotional operating system and heal your wounded inner child so that you can live in a state of what he called relaxed enjoyment, a place where we all want to operate our lives from, where peace of mind and being happy and fulfilled is a natural state of being. In this episode, I'm going to take you inside that interview from 30 years ago and peel back the layers to get to a core truth that I think we will all want to embrace. And I promise, if you stay with me through this, something in you is going to shift. Ken said something early in our talk that hit me hard.
Now, the poignant part of this is, how do we humans stack up? And it's really shocking. I think we spend 99% of our lives not having relaxed enjoyment. We're armored, we perceive threats, and of course, animals don't have a rational mind that can project in the future and worry about the past. They're always right here now. And so we have this state where we deserve and should have relaxed enjoyment, well, let's say 99% of our life, like your dog or your cat or any of the mammals.
So why is that so difficult for humans to achieve?
It's because of the great multiplicity of the games that we set up to play. And these games have a win-loss position. And most of us are trained by our parents to be based on fear and guilt and shame. In other words, our parents try to control us through making us feel fear, guilt, or shame, or threatening us with things that will make us feel fear, guilt, and shame. So there's a need for a human being to be continually armored and protected. And even if things seem very peaceful and safe and you're enjoying what's happening right now, still your mind can project in, I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow and next day and next year. And so we're not living in the now, but we're using our mind literally to drive ourselves crazy, I think.
He called it the addiction to getting your own way. And it shows up everywhere, in our relationships, our career, and even how we love.
Let me just give you an example, because we don't realize how we are training shame-based children. I know I did it. I wish I could go back and relive those years with what I know now. But the type of parenting I had, let's say I'm in a supermarket with my mother, and she's gathering some food off of this shelf and that shelf, and her model is that I stay real close to her and not touch anything on the shelves. And she'll tell me that, don't touch anything, come on now. But as a little kid, I would be curious, what's all these shelves about? What's all these cans about? It's my job at age 3 to explore the world. What kind of world do we live in? What part in it can I play? So I can't see why she wants me to be right with her all the time. Doesn't make much sense to me. I'm right here and I'm right now. So I'll be reaching out, and then she could easily, and I'm not trying to be hard on our mothers, they were just passing on the habits they got from their parents who got it from their parents. But what's happening is that due to lack of parental understanding and skill today, let's say my mother, way back then, might have said to me, Ken, I told you 1,000 times, don't touch anything on the shelves. Now stay real close to me. Here, give me your hand. Now, you just look at what happened. There was fear. It's like, Mommy's mad. I can tell from her tone. She's mad at me. I'm not safe when she's mad because she has all the power to do anything. She can spank me when we get home. She can say, well, I'll never take you again, or whatever type of punishment she might want to do. But just the fact that she's mad now creates fear in me. And then I'll feel guilty because she pointed out, she told me 1,000 times not to do that. I don't know what 1,000 times is, but it sounds pretty bad to my little 4-year-old mind. So I'm beginning to feel very guilty. And then I'm ashamed of not meeting her models. And so just by that usual conversation, and I'm sure you've been to supermarkets, and there'd be a mother and a young child, and what I just enacted as a hypothetical scenario with my mother back then, you've probably seen much more abusive language and screaming at the little kid, and it terrifies us. So we are constantly looking at ourselves. Am I doing anything that's going to make me feel fear, guilt, or shame? Because those feel terrible. Not safe, Mommy won't love me, she'll abandon me, and I'll die. That's the progression that our minds go through. The kid may not be aware of that progression, but that's happening deep down programmed on an instinctual basis. So the way we train our kids today, and it's very rare to see a person that is not basically trying to avoid fear, armoring against fear, preventing anything that might make us afraid, and trying to avoid feelings of guilt and of shame, which make us feel very, very bad.
This is one of the most important things Ken ever said to me, that so much of our adult unhappiness stems not from what's happening to us now, but from how we were emotionally shaped as children. Our unskilled parents didn't mean to harm us, but the result was the same. We were programmed to armor up, to fear disapproval, to avoid love unless it was earned. In all of that, it blocks happiness at its root.
What is happiness?
Well, happiness to me means relaxed enjoyment. I'm relaxed when I don't feel there's a threat to me in some way, bodily or emotionally or intellectually or spiritually. Just relaxed. And enjoyment means that I can tune in to the here and now and enjoy what's going on. I might be walking around, and that's relaxed enjoyment. No threat, and just noticing the flowers or the trees or whatever I can see.
And obviously that's a state of mind that everybody wants.
Yes, and it's the remarkable thing that animals in the wild live in this state of relaxed enjoyment, I guess 99% of the time.
That one insight changed everything for me. We're taught to believe happiness comes from getting what you want. But what happens when life doesn't go your way? Ken said that's the moment your growth begins, when you can trade addiction for preference. And by addiction, he's not referring to substance abuse.
To understand what's happening, I find it very helpful to say, am I running an addictive demand, or is it a preference? An addiction is an emotion-backed demand, and we use that term very broadly. For example, that not only applies to things like cigarettes or coffee, but it also applies, let's say, if I don't like the tie that you might be wearing, and I say, that's a lousy tie. That my tone implies that I have an addiction that you not wear that tie, or that I feel ashamed to be with somebody who has such poor taste as to wear a tie with this color rather than that color. Most of us are addicted to people not criticizing us. We're addicted to wanting what we want when we want it. This is all the operation of ego, which creates the separate self, which keeps us in torment, literally in hell, the experience of hell on earth. And we contrast that with the love-based way of creating preferences. In other words, the spirit of love can help us up-level addictions, these demands that we have to be happy. That's an illusion. I really shouldn't have my happiness dependent on anyone's color of tie, for example. But when I'm working from a preference, which the spirit of love can help me develop, then I prefer that ties not be that way, that they be more this way. But it's not a demand, it's not an addiction of mine. I can be comfortable either way. I can still stay in relaxed enjoyment, whichever way you'd dress.
Think about that. What if your biggest emotional pain isn't about what's happening, but about what you're addicted to? Approval, control, certainty, money and security. These hidden emotional addictions run the show in your life until you see them. And once you do, you can reprogram them. And that's what Zygon is all about, helping you rewire those patterns so that happiness becomes your default state, not a moving target that you're always chasing. Now, this is an important concept, and though deceptively simple to understand, it's not that easy to transform because we're all conditioned to think this way. We were taught very early on to feel and believe in certain ways, mostly by our unskilled parents. And this messed up how we see ourselves.
Loving other people really has to begin with yourself, because if there's a way you're not loving yourself, you will hide it. Your ego hides it from you, and you project it on other people and accuse them when they're totally innocent, but you have the feeling that they're guilty. It's an unfortunate mechanism that we do automatically until we learn what we're doing, and then we get to be more aware, more conscious.
We can't give love we haven't found in ourselves. Ken's wisdom here is so true. If we secretly reject ourselves, we see rejection in others. But when we begin to heal that, when we drop the armor, that's when love can really flow.
Unconditional love means that I love you no matter what you think, say, and do. We literally have everything we need to live a whole, complete, beautiful life and unfold as we should. We are, in our essence, such beautiful beings. Sometimes our egos say, I gotta hide because I don't want him to know the truth about me. See, if you really knew the truth about me, you'd know that I was born such and designed to be such a beautiful, wonderful, loving, cooperative, peaceful, and happy human being. And then came abuse. Now, you can take a dog and abuse it, as I pointed out, and it will lose this ability to love. But we're born loving and bonding rapidly to the caretakers around us. We just naturally love, not something that we have to be taught. But if we are abused, and I know most parents, they don't abuse their kids deliberately. They're just living out their programming. And even when they're violent to the children, they think, well, I'm doing it for their own good. You know how that works. So you can see how we're born so beautiful. And when you do something that doesn't fit my models, and let's say it's something immoral, illegal, or aggressive toward me, what I need to do in order to love you is to realize that in all your essentials, you are like me, but you've been damaged, and due to various childhood incidents with parents that really didn't understand the skills that are needed to help to stay out of the way of the natural development of a child. And when that happens, you are not you. You're a false self. And with healing, you can become whole again. So I can, if I wish, reject what you do, but I will not reject you because you're just like me. We're all part of a wonderful human partnership. We're really all relatives in the human family. No matter what our skin color or what country we live in, we're all either near or distant relatives.
This is where Ken really opened up. He talked about love as a center of consciousness, not an emotion, a vibration, a way of living and seeing the world. Unconditional love, he said, is the path to emotional freedom. You don't wait for someone to deserve your love, you just become it. And that's living love. It's a powerful idea and a radical one because it means no one else controls your emotional state. Only you do.
This state that we can all create, and it's just a matter of knowing how you do it and doing the practice. See, knowing it doesn't help. You've got to develop the skill to do it with. And that is going from an ego-based, separate self, ridden with the fear of fear and the feeling of guilt and shame, to a love-based, unified self. And this unified self gives you a community of consciousness with your brothers and sisters. We're all relatives. All of us human beings on this planet are relatives. And we're psychically in tune with each other in remarkable ways. And so instead of me fighting the world, which my ego and separate self would have me do, me against the world, it's like me with the world, harmonizing with the world. And what we have to do is just learn to work on ourselves. And as we begin to do that, we put loving energy in the world. And we're all connected on a psychic level, so that if we heal ourselves, we will help heal other people. Even if we never see them, it somehow goes out in, like you throw a pebble in a pond and concentric ripples will go out for 100 feet, you see. And so by healing yourself, you can enjoy a life characterized by relaxed enjoyment and inner peace, fun, joy, all the good stuff in life. And you can gradually drop off from that illusion that the world is your enemy. There's wounded people out there, and as you know, a wounded person or a wounded animal, they can be threatening. But you learn how to sidestep, how to duck. You don't have to feel separate. You can feel compassion at the wounds that they have, the illusion they live under. And so by working to get rid of your ego-based perception that I'm separate from the world, it's me versus the world. Instead, I'm one with the world. These are my human family. Everybody, all 5 billion of us on Earth, they're part of our human family. They're relatives, everybody. It doesn't matter what skin color. We're all genetically distant or far cousins of each other. And so as we begin to create this experience of love, forgiving, not carrying stuff, we can create a paradise, literally a heaven here on Earth. And this will help transform the world.
Ken believed that we're all on a journey back to ourselves, that human evolution isn't just biological, it's spiritual. He called it cosmic consciousness. And he believed that when enough people awaken, that we'd hit a tipping point, a 100th monkey moment, a critical mass where the whole species shifts at once. He wrote a best-selling book on it called The 100th Monkey, based on this idea. So, how do you do it? How do you stop reacting from addictions and start living from your higher consciousness? Well, Ken gave 5 powerful methods, one of which I've used for decades. Become aware of your addictions. Shift your demands to preferences. Memorize the 12 pathways. Practice loving awareness and daily use of every emotion as a teacher. Because he believed every upset is a gift, showing you what addiction is ready to be released. Now, it's not easy, but it's worth it. Because when you rewire those patterns, life starts to feel right. There's a relaxed enjoyment in everything you do. Not perfect, not painless, but joyful and free. Ken passed away, sadly, in 1995. He was my friend and a mentor. But his legacy is alive and pulsing through everything we do at Zygon. And today, for the first time ever, we're giving you something really special. It's a tribute to Ken and my gift to you. We'll be unlocking the full Pathways to Higher Consciousness course, absolutely free for everyone. This course was created with Ken at Zygon Studios in 1993. It's the follow-up to his best-selling book, Handbook to Higher Consciousness. And in this course, he walks you step by step through exactly how to release your emotional addictions, how to live from love instead of fear, and how to install the pathways of higher consciousness in your daily life. You can learn how to do all this, how to live this way and transform everything about how you feel and how you operate your life. If you've ever wanted to experience spiritual growth in a practical and permanent mind-changing way, well, this is it. You can experience the full Ken Kai's Pathways course right now for free. It's inside the Zygon app. Just open the app or download it free and I'll give you full access to this wonderful program. And I encourage you, don't wait. The world needs more conscious, awakened humans. More love, more peace, and that starts with you and me, all of us, daily adding our intention and energy to the people that we touch every single day. So get on your app, watch the full interview first, then experience Ken Kai's Pathways course. Ken will give you incredible insights about your life and the power of love. I really want you to do this. If you're paying attention to the core message here, it will stir your soul to live a life of joy, freedom, and relaxed enjoyment. Until next time, stay empowered, and I'll see you on the inside.